What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we're going to be looking forward to COD 2023, which is currently rumored to be called Modern Warfare 3. And in some previous videos, I talked about some of the changes that I hope they make from Modern Warfare 2, and things that I hope we don't see return from this game. And that's all pretty obvious stuff, and it's a really long list of things as well. This game is quite easy to criticize because there are a bunch of areas where it seems like they just dropped the ball completely with, like the perk system for instance. But instead of hammering on those same issues over and over again, today I wanted to flip the script a little bit. I wanted to take a look and share 5 things that I actually hope do return from Modern Warfare 2. Some of these will be just like little individual items, and others will be more so how they structured things. And without further ado, let's just hop right into my list here. The first thing that I actually like that Modern Warfare 2 introduced for the first time is their camo unlock structure, and the fact that at least for the non-mastery camos, when you unlock a camo for a gun, you can use that same camo on every gun in the game. And this brought a ton of camo variety, and I also feel like it just made the camo grind a lot more interesting. Now, I do want to be clear here, I don't think all of the camo challenges themselves were perfect. I do think they went way overboard with long shots, for instance, and I don't think you should need that many long shots for like every single gun in the game, because that just becomes really tedious and it forces you to play in a certain way since your lines of sight are so limited, especially on the 6v6 maps. So I'm not saying they did a perfect job with the camo challenge selection, but if we're just looking at the general structure and how they laid out the camos in this game, I actually really like what they did here, and I'll even go so far as to say that this may be my favorite general camo structure out of any Call of Duty game. And just a minor additional point here that I wanted to tag on to this, I also really hope they bring back solid color camos. These are some of my favorite looking camos that we've ever seen in Call of Duty. I love just being able to put on a different color and have that color really pop on the gun. So that's the first big thing. I hope they do keep a similar camo structure overall for Modern Warfare 2. Next, let's talk about something that I also really like that Modern Warfare did. This was the introduction of a toggle between score streaks and kill streaks, with no trade-off or anything required as well, unlike Modern Warfare 2019, where you had to use a perk in a very competitive tier of perks in order to get score streaks rather than kill streaks. I like the fact that in Modern Warfare 2, you can simply choose for yourself. If you like kill streaks, you can choose kill streaks. If you like score streaks, you can choose score streaks. And I think that's just the perfect compromise, because people just have different preferences here. And when it comes to this, I'd also like to tag on, I wouldn't mind some more iteration in this area as well. I'd also like to be able to toggle Specialist on as well, which unfortunately with Modern Warfare 2's current perk system, that's not really viable. That's simply not going to work. Hopefully next year's Call of Duty game will have a perk system that allows for Specialist, because I think that does add a lot of depth and interesting gameplay. And it would be great if they could just provide that as a toggle in there as well, to provide even more player choice in how they want to approach things. As for the next thing that I appreciate with Modern Warfare 2, this is something they actually didn't have at launch, but they introduced a few months down the road, and it's something that I hope we see return to every Call of Duty game going forward. This is the inverted flash setting. So when you get flashed, if you turn this on, it will turn your screen black rather than white, and therefore you don't really get like blinded in real life as well, especially if you're playing in a dark room, for instance. And while this is a really minor thing that doesn't have a massive impact on gameplay or anything, it's just one of those things that now that we have it, I never want to go back. And it makes me question, why have we not had this in the past with Call of Duty? I definitely want to see this return for every future Call of Duty game going forward. It's just a great little quality of life setting. After that, we have another fairly minor thing that doesn't have like massive widespread implications for the gameplay, but I really like that they brought with Modern Warfare 2. This is the drill charge. In my opinion, if we're talking about actual gameplay items, this was the best and most interesting thing that Modern Warfare 2 brought to the table. And with this next Call of Duty game being rumored to be a direct sequel to this, it would just make sense for the drill charge to return, and I hope it does. Maybe they could iterate on it a little bit, improve it in some ways, make some adjustments here or there, but I do really enjoy the drill charge, and I would like to see it return. And that just leaves us with one last item on the list here, and this is the firing range. Now, I know that Modern Warfare 2 isn't the first Call of Duty game to bring a firing range in, but it is the first one we've seen since COD World War II, which is quite some time ago at this point. And again, this is just one of those features that I do feel should be a staple to Call of Duty. I think it should be in every Call of Duty game, especially now that we have a gunsmith system. I feel like it's more important than ever before, and I do think it's a bit weird that this is the first firing range we've seen since the introduction of gunsmith. So yeah, I do hope firing range will become a staple from here on out. And I feel like the odds are pretty good that we'll have one in next year's Call of Duty game, since it is Sledgehammer, and they were actually the first of the studios to introduce a firing range. I was honestly really surprised that Vanguard didn't have one. But again, just like with the camo challenges, I'm not necessarily saying I just want this to come back exactly how it was in Modern Warfare 2. I definitely would like to see some iteration and improvements to the firing range, especially like a recoil testing wall, a proper recoil testing wall, unlike what we have currently, which our best bet is to just turn around and shoot the door behind us, but you can't get very far away from that door. It's also not a very big area to be testing recoil, so I do feel like the current firing range is lacking in that area. Also, the firing range dummies aren't perfect stand-ins for actual character models, since their hitboxes don't line up like they would with an actual character model. So I'm not saying that the current firing range doesn't leave a lot to be desired, because it definitely does, but at the end of the day, I still really appreciate the fact that we at least have one in Modern Warfare 2, and this is a feature that I do hope we see return in future Call of Duty games. And with that, that is going to wrap it up for 5 elements from Modern Warfare 2 that I actually do hope return in future Call of Duty games. Like I said, this is a much shorter and more difficult list to put together rather than the things that I don't want to see return from this game. But I also do think it's important to look at some of the good things that they've done, because it's not like it's 100% bad. And with that, this is where I want to hear from you guys in those comments down below. First off, do you guys agree with this list of 5 things that I want to see return from Modern Warfare 2? And second, is there anything that I didn't mention in today's video that you like that Modern Warfare 2 did and you would like to see return in future Call of Duty games? If so, please let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.